Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Parakamelam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishkam Vitam Sya Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnanajana Shalaka Chakshurum militam yena tasma Shri Gurave Namah Gurva Bhistam Supurakam Gurganarasisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipunam Shri Rupa Patanugam Govinda Bidam Ujjalam Varatanum Bhaktyan Bidam Sundaram Vande Vishwaguruncha Divyat Bhagavad Premnoe Bijapradam Devam Divyatanum Suchandabaranam Balarka Chelanchitam Sundrananda Puram Sadekavaranam Vairagya Vidyamburim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Manditam Shubhadam Madhika Sharanam Nyashisvara Shidaram Vanchakalpatarubhyas Chakripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavinibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahamaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gorata Vishay Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad. This is Adi-lila, chapter 10, the branches of the Chaitanya tree. And this is verse number 106. Shankararanya Charya Brikera Eksaka Mukunda Kashinata Rudra Upashakaleka. The Acharya Shankararanya was considered the 48th branch of the original tree. From him proceeded the sub-branches known as Mukunda, Kashinath, and Rudra. It is said that Shankararanya was the sannyas name of Srila Vishwarup, who was the elder brother of Vishwambar, the original name of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shankararanya expired in 1432 Shakabda AD, in 1432 Shakabda AD 1510 at Sholapur, where there is a place of pilgrimage known as Pandharapur. This is referred to in the Adi-lila, chapter 9. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu opened a primary school in the house of Mukunda, or Mukunda Sanjay, and Mukunda's son, whose name was Purushottama, became the Lord's student. Kashinath arranged the marriage of Lord Chaitanya in his previous ashram when his name was Vishwambar. Kashinath induced the court pandit Sanatan to offer Vishwambar his daughter. In text 50 of the Gorganadesh Tipika, it is mentioned that Kasinath was an incarnation of the Brahmin Kulaka, whom Satyajit sent to arrange the marriage of Krishna and Satyabhama. And in text 135, it is mentioned that Rudra, or Shri Rudra Rama Pandit, was formerly a friend of Lord Krishna named Varutapa. Shri Rudra Rama Prabhu constructed a big temple at Vallabhapur, which is 1 mile north of Mahesh, for the deities named Radhavallabha. Okay. Srinath Pandit Prabhu Kripara Bhajan Jara Krishna Sevadeki Bhasa Tribhuvan. Srinath Pandit, the 49th branch, was the beloved recipient of all the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Everyone in the 3 worlds was astonished to see how he worshipped Lord Krishna. Jagannatacharya Prabhu Priyadas Prabhura Agyate Teho Koila Gangadbas Jagannatacharya, the 50th branch of the Chaitanya tree, was an extremely dear servant of the Lord, by whose order he decided to live on the bank of the Ganges. Krishnadasa Vaidya Ara Pandita Shekhar Kavichandra Ara Kirtaniya Shastivar. The 51st branch of the Chaitanya tree was Krishnadas Vaidya. The 52nd was Pandita Shekhar. The 53rd was Kavichandra, and the 54th was Shastivar, who was a great Sankirtan performer. Srinath Mishra, Shubhananda, Sri Ramishan, Sri Nidhi, Sri Gopi Kanta, Mishra Bhagavan. The 55th branch was Srinath Mishra, the 56th was Shubhananda, the 57th was Sri Ram, the 58th was Ishan, the 59th was Sri Nidhi, the 60th was Sri Gopi Kanta, and the 61st was Mishra Bhagavan. Subhananda, who formerly lived in Vrindavan as Malati, was one of the kirtan performers who danced in front of the Rath car during the Jagannath festival. It is said that he ate the foam that came out of the mouth of the Lord while he danced before the Rath Yatra car. Ishan was the personal servant of Srimati Sachi Devi, who showered her great mercy upon him. He was also very dear to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Subudhi Mishra, Hridayananda, Kamalanayan, Mahesh Pandit, Shrikar, Sri Madhusudana. The 62nd branch of the tree was Subudhi Mishra. The 63rd was Hridayananda. The 64th was Kamalanayana. The 65th was Mahesh Pandit. The 66th was Shrikar. And the 67th was Sri Madhusudana. Purushottama Sri Galim Jagannatha Das Sri Chandra Shekhara Vaidya Dvija Haridas. The 68th branch of the original tree was Purushottama. The 69th was Sri Galim. The 70th was Jagannath Das. The 71st was Sri Chandra Shekhar Vaidya. And the 72nd was Dvija Haridas. Ramadas, Kavichandra Sri, Gopala Das, Bhagavadacharya Thakur, Sharangadas. The 73rd branch of the original tree was Ramadas. The 74th was Kavichandra. The 75th was Sri Gopal Das. The 76th was Bhagavanacharya. And the 77th was Thakur Sharangadas. Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, in the Gauraganudesh Dipika, it is said that Bhagavadacharya compiled a book entitled Krishna Prema Tarangini, and he was the most beloved devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Varahanagar, now a suburb of Calcutta, he stayed in the house of a most fortunate Brahma who was a very learned scholar in Bhagavat literature. As soon as this Brahmin saw Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he began to read Srimad Bhagavatam. When Mahaprabhu heard his explanation, which expounded Bhakti Yoga, he immediately became unconscious in ecstasy. Lord Chaitanya later said, I have never heard such a nice explanation of Srimad Bhagavatam. I therefore designate you Bhagavadacharya. Your only duty is to recite Srimad Bhagavatam. That is my injunction. His real name was Raghunath. His monastery, which is situated in Varahanagar, about 3.5 miles north of Calcutta on the bank of the Ganges, still exists, and it is managed by the initiated disciples of the late Sri Ram Das Babaji. Presently, however, it is not as well managed as in the presence of Babaji Maharaj. Another name of Thakur Sharngadas was Sharnga Thakur. Sometimes he was also called Sharngapani or Sharngadar. He was a resident in Navadvip in the neighborhood known as Modrumadvip, and he used to worship the Supreme Lord in a secluded place on the bank of the Ganges. He was not accepting disciples, but he was repeatedly being inspired from within by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to do so. His deity asked him to take disciples. Thus one morning he decided, whomever I see, I shall make my disciple. First, his deity kept on telling him, his deity named Gopinath said, you're old. When you leave, who will take care of me? So he said, all right, first person I meet in the morning, I will make my disciple. When he went to the bank of the Ganges to take his bath, by chance he saw a dead body floating in the water, and he touched it with his feet. This immediately brought the body back to life, and Thakur Sharngadas accepted him as his disciple. This disciple later became famous as Thakur Murari, and his name is always associated with that of Sri Sharnga. His disciplic succession still exists in the village of Shar. There is a temple at Mamgachi that is said to have been started by Sharnga Thakur. Not long ago, a new temple building was erected in front of a bakul tree there, and it is now being managed by the members of the Gaudiya Math. Jagannath Tirtha Vipra Sri Janakinath Gopalacharya Ara Vipra Maninath. The 78th branch of the original tree was Jagannath Tirtha. The 79th was the Brahman Sri Janakinath. The 80th was Gopalacharya, and the 81st was the Brahman Vaninath. Govinda Madhava Vasudeva Tindbai Jad Sabara Kirtane Nache Chaitanya Nitai. The three brothers, Govinda, Madhava, and Vasudeva, were the 82nd, 83rd, and 84th branches of the tree. Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda used to dance in their kirtan performances. The three brothers, Govinda, Madhava, and Vasudeva Ghosh, all belonged to a Kayastha family. Govinda established the Gopinath temple in Agradvip, where he resided. Madhava Ghosh was expert in performing kirtan. No one within this world could compete with him. He was known as a singer of Vrindavan. and was very dear to Sri Nityananda Prabhu. It is said that when the three brothers performed Sankirtan, immediately Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda would dance in ecstasy. Okay. Ramdas Abhiram Shankar Premarasi Salasanger Kashtatuli Jay Korila Bamshi. Ramadas Abhiram was fully absorbed in the mellow of friendship. He made a flute of a bamboo stick with 16 knots. So 16 knots will be a big flute. Prabhu Ragyaya Nityananda Gaude Chalila Tarasange Tinagjan Prabhu Agyaya Aila. By the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, three devotees accompanied Lord Chaitanya. By the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, three devotees accompanied Lord Nityananda Prabhu when he returned to Bengal to preach. Ramadas Madhava Ara Vasudeva Ghosh Prabhu Sange Rohi Govinda Paya Santosh These three were Ramadas, Madhava Ghosh, and Vasudeva Ghosh. Govinda Ghosh, however, remained with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Jagannath Puri and thus felt great satisfaction. Bhagavatacharya Chiranjiva Shri Raghunandana Madhvacharya Madhavacharya Kamalakanta Shri Yadunandana Bhagavatacharya Chiranjiva Shri Raghunandan Madhavacharya Kamalakanta Shri Yadunandana Bhagavatacharya Chiranjiva and Shri Raghunandana Madhavacharya Kamalakanta and Sri Yadunandana were all among the branches of the Chaitanya tree. Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, Sri Madhavacharya was the husband of Lord Nityananda's daughter, Ganga Devi. He took initiation from Purushottama, a branch of Nityananda Prabhu. It is said that when Nityananda Prabhu's daughter married Madhavacharya, the Lord gave him the village name Panjinagar as a dowry. Madhavacharya's temple is situated near the Jirat railway station on the Eastern Railway. Okay. Mahakripa Patra Prabhu Jagai Madai Patita Pavana Namer Saki Duibai. Jagai and Madai, the 89th and 90th branches of the tree, were the greatest recipients of Lord Chaitanya's mercy. These two brothers were the witnesses who proved that Lord Chaitanya was rightly named Patita Pavan, the deliverer of the fallen souls. Godadesh Bhaktir Koila Sankepa Katan Ananta Chaitanya Bhakta Najai Ganan. I have given a brief description of the devotees of Lord Chaitanya in Bengal. Actually, his devotees are innumerable. Nilachali Esa Bhakta Prabhu Sange Duistane Prabhu Seva Koila Nanarange. I have especially mentioned all these devotees because they accompanied Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Bengal and Orissa and served him in many ways. Most of the devotees of Lord Chaitanya lived in Bengal and Orissa. Thus, they are celebrated as Gaudiyas and Oriyas. At present, however, by the grace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his cult is being propagated all over the world, and it is most probable that in the future history of Lord Chaitanya's movement, Europeans, Americans, Canadians, Australians, South Americans, Asians, and people from all over the world will be celebrated as devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Okay. Kevalanila Chale Prabhur Jai Bhaktagan Sankepe Koriye Kichu Se Sab Katan. Let me quickly describe some of the devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. Nilachale Prabhu Sange Jata Bhaktagan Sabara Adyapaka Prabhur Marma Duijan Paramananda Puri Ara Swarup Namadar Gadadhar Jagadananda Shankara Bakreshwar Damodara Pandit Thakur Haridas Raghunatha Vaidya Ara Raghunatha Das. Among the devotees who accompanied the Lord in Jagannath Puri, two of them, Paramananda Puri and Swarup Damodar, were the heart and soul of the Lord. Among the other devotees were Gadadhar, Jagadananda, Shankar, Rakeshwar, Damodar Pandit, Thakur Haridas, Raghunath Vaidya, and Raghunath Das. The Chaitanya Bhagavat states that Raghunath Vaidya came to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when the Lord was staying at Panihati. He was a great devotee and had all good qualities. According to the Chaitanya Bhagavad, he was formerly Revati, the wife of Balaram. Anyone who he glanced upon would immediately attain Krishna consciousness. He lived on the seashore at Jagannath Puri and compiled a book of the name Sthana Nirupana. Ityadikat Purvasangi Bora Bhaktagan Nilachali Rohi Kore Prabhura Sevan. All these devotees were associates of the Lord from the very beginning, and when the Lord took up residence in Jagannath Puri, they remained there to serve him faithfully. Arajata Bhaktagan Goda Deshabasi Pratyabde Prabhure Deke Nilachale Ashi. All the devotees who resided in Bengal used to visit Jagannath Puri every year to see the Lord. Nilachale Prabhu Seho Pratama Milan Se Bhakta Ganer Ebe Koriya Ganan. Let me enumerate the devotees of Bengal who first came to see the Lord at Jagannath Puri. Borashaka Egg Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya Tara Bhagnipati Sri Gopinathacharya. There was Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, one of the biggest branches of the tree of the Lord, and his sister's husband, Sri Gopinathacharya. The original name of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was Vasudeva Bhattacharya. His place of birth, which is known as Vidyanagar, is about 2.5 miles from the Navadip railway station at Champahati, or Champahati railway station. His father was a very much celebrated man of the name Maheshwara Visharada. It is said that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was the greatest logician of his time in India. At Mithila in Bihar, he became a student of a great professor named Pakshadhara Mishra, who did not allow any student to note down his explanations of logic. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was so talented, however, that he learned the explanations by heart, and when he later returned to Navadip, he established a school for the study of logic, thus diminishing the importance of Mithila. Students from various parts of India still came to Navadip from various parts of India still come to Navadip to study logic. According to some authoritative opinions, the celebrated logician Raghunath Shiromani was also a student of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. In effect, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya became the leader of all students of logic. Although he was a grihasta householder, he even taught many sannyasis in the knowledge of logic. He started a school at Jagannath Puri for the study of Vedanta philosophy, of which he was a great scholar. When Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he advised the Lord to learn Vedanta philosophy from him. But later he became a student of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to understand the real meaning of Vedanta. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was so fortunate as to see the six-armed form, or Sadbhuj, of Lord Chaitanya. A Sadbhuj deity is still situated at one end of the Jagannath temple. Okay. Daily Sankirtan performances take place in this part of the temple. The meeting of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is vividly described in Adi-lila, chapter 6. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya wrote a book of 100 verses called Chaitanya Shataka, or Sushloka Shataka. 2 other verses he wrote beginning with the words Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga and Kalanashtan Bhakti Yogam Nijamya, are very famous among Gaudiya Vaishnavas. The Gaur Ganadhesh Dipika states that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was an incarnation of Brihaspati, the learned scholar from the celestial planets. Gopinathacharya, who belonged to a respectable Brahmin family, was also an inhabitant of Navadip and a constant companion of the Lord. He was the husband of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's sister. In the Gaur Ganadhesh Dipika, it is stated that he was formerly the gopi named Ratnavali. According to the opinion of others, he was an incarnation of Brahma. So that's Gopinathacharya. And he had arguments with Mahaprabhu about, not arguments about Mahaprabhu, he had arguments with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who didn't understand that Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord. So, and Gopinathacharya told him that Mahaprabhu is Krishna, non-different from Krishna. He's the Lord himself. And so then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, well, how can you, he said, how do you understand this? And Gopinathacharya said, well, one who has received the mercy of the Lord can see the Lord, can recognize the Lord. And then Sarvabhauma said, well, how can you say that you have received the mercy of the Lord? And Gopinathacharya said, because I can recognize him, you can't. You can say a simple argument, but this actually was the real truth. Kashi Mishra Pradyumna Mishra Rai Bhavananda Jahara Milane Prabhu Pailananda. In the list of devotees at Jagannath Puri, which begins with Paramananda Puri, Swarup Damodar, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and Gopinathacharya. Okay. In the list of devotees at Jagannath, let's see. Kashi Mishra Pradyumna Mishra Rai Bhavananda Jahara Milane Prabhu Paila Ananda. In the list of devotees at Jagannath Puri, which begins with Paramananda Puri, Swarup Damodar, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and Gopinathacharya, Kashi Mishra was the fifth, Pradyumna Mishra the sixth, and Bhavananda Rai the seventh. Lord Chaitanya took great pleasure in meeting with them. Alingana kore tare, bolila bachan, tumi pandu, pancha pandav tomaranandan. Embracing Rai Bhavananda, the Lord declared to him, you formerly appeared as Pandu, and your 5 sons appeared as the 5 Pandavas. So Ramananda Roy is one of the 5 sons of Rai Bhavananda, or Bhavananda Rai, and also Baninath was one of his sons, Gopinath Patanayaka, another, had 5 sons. Ramananda Rai, Patanayaka Gopinath, Kalanidhi, Shudanidhi, Nayaka Vaninath. The 5 sons of Bhavananda Rai were Ramananda Rai, Patanayaka Gopinath, Kalanidhi, Shudanidhi, and Nayaka Vaninath. A Panchaputra Tomar Mora Priyapatra Ramananda Sahamora Deho Beda Matra. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Bhavananda Roy, your 5 sons are all my dear devotees. Ramananda Roy and I are one, although our bodies are different. Prataparudra Raj Ara Odra Krishnananda Paramananda Mahapatra Odra Shivananda Bhagavanacharya Brahmanandakya Bharati Sri Shiki Mahiti Aramurari Mahiti. King Prataparudra of Orissa, the Riyan devotees Krishnananda and Shivananda, and Paramananda Mahapatra, Bhagavanacharya, Brahmananda Bharati, Sri Shiki Mahiti, and Murari Mahiti, constantly associated with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu while he resided in Jagannath Puri. Prataparudra Maharaj, who belonged to the dynasty of the Ganga kings, and whose capital was in Cuttack, was the emperor of Orissa and a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was by the arrangement of Ramananda Roy and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya that he was able to personally serve Lord Chaitanya. Okay. Madhavi Devi Shaki Mahitira Bhagani Sri Radhara Dashi Madhye Jara Namagani. Madhavi Devi, the 17th of the prominent devotees of Orissa, was the younger sister of Shiki Mahiti. She is considered to have formerly been a maidservant of Srimati Radharani. Ishvara Purir Sishya Brahmachari Kashishwar Sri Govinda Namatara Priya Anuchar. Brahmachari Kashishwar was a disciple of Ishvara Puri, and Sri Govinda was another of his dear disciples. Tara Siddhi Kale Dohe Tara Agyapaya Nilachale Prabhu Stane Milila Asiya. In the list of prominent devotees at Nilachala, Jagannath Puri, Kashishwar was the 18th and Govinda the 19th. They both came to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Jagannath Puri, being thus ordered by Ishwara Puri at the time of his passing away. So that's Govinda and Kashishwar. They were sent by Ishwara Puri to serve Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. They were disciples of Ishwara Puri, but he told them to go serve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gurur Sambande Manya Koila Duhakare Tara Agyamani Seva Dilena Dohare. Both Kashishwar and Govinda were godbrothers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and thus the Lord duly honored them as soon as they arrived. But because Ishwara Puri had ordered them to give Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personal service, the Lord accepted their service. At first, Mahaprabhu didn't want to accept their service because he said it was not proper to accept service from his godbrother. But because they were ordered by Ishwara Puri, whom Mahaprabhu saw as his spiritual master, since they were ordered by Ishwara Puri to serve Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu accepted their service. Angaseva Govindere Dilena Ishwar Jagannath Dekite Chalan Agikashishwar. Govinda cared for the body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whereas Kashishwar went in front of the Lord when he went to see Jagannath in the temple. So Govinda became the servant of Mahaprabhu, and he would serve Mahaprabhu meals, massage his feet, like that. And Kashishwar was also sent along with Govinda. Kashishwar was very strong, and so he protected Mahaprabhu. He would go in front of the Lord and make sure that people didn't crush Mahaprabhu or come. So many people were there, and he made sure that they could not all try to touch Mahaprabhu and thus, cause some disturbance. So he was a big person, and he strong, and he could keep people from pressing on Mahaprabhu too much when he went for Rath Yatra or etc. protect him. Aparashai Jaya Goshai Manushya Gahane Manushya Teli Patakore Kashi Balavane. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the temple of Jagannath, Kashishvar, being very strong, cleared the crowds aside with his hands so that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could pass untouched. Ramai Nandai Dohe Prabhura Kinkar Govindera Range Seva Kore Nirantar. Ramai and Nandai, the 20th and 21st among the important devotees in Jagannath Puri, always assisted Govinda 24 hours a day in rendering service to the Lord. So Ramai and Nandai would assist Govinda in serving the Lord. Vaishya Gora Jaladine Bharana Ramai Govinda Agyaya Seva Korana Nandai. Every day Ramai filled 22 big water pots, whereas Nandai personally assisted Govinda. Krishnadas Nama Shuddha Kulina Brahman Jarasange Loya Koila Dakina Gaman. The 22nd devotee Krishnadas was born of a pure and respectable Brahmin family. While touring southern India, Lord Chaitanya took Krishnadas with him. This is Krishnadas is described in the Adi-lila chapters 7 and 9. He went with Mahaprabhu to carry his water pot. In the Malabar state, members of the Bhattacharya cult tried to captivate Krishnadas by supplying a woman to seduce him. But although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saved him from being harmed, when they returned to Jagannath Puri, he ordered that Krishnadas remain separate from him, for the Lord was never favorably disposed toward an associate who was attracted by a woman. Thus Krishnadas lost the personal association of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Nityananda Prabhu arranged for Krishnadas to continue his service to the Lord, though not personally in the association of Mahaprabhu, but he sent Nityananda Prabhu sent that Krishnadas to Navadip to inform all the devotees of Bengal that the Lord had returned from Jagannath Puri so that they could come visit him. Balabhadra Bhattacharya Bhakti Adhikari Mathura Gamane Prabhur Jeho Brahmachari. As a bona fide devotee, Balabhadra Bhattacharya, the 23rd principal associate, acted as the brahmachari of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he toured Mathura. So as Balabhadra, he took Mahaprabhu to Vrindavan. Balabhadra Bhattacharya acted as a brahmachari or personal assistant of a sannyasi. Bora Haridas Arachota Haridas Dui Kirtaniya Rahe Mahaprabhu Pas. Both Haridas and Chota Haridas, the 24th and 25th devotees in Nilachala, were good singers who always accompanied Lord Chaitanya. And Chota Haridas was later banished from the company of Lord Chaitanya. That's described in the Adi-lila. Ramabhadracharya Ara Odras Simeshwar Tapan Mishra Ara Raghu Nilambar. Among the devotees who lived with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Jagannath Puri, Ramabhadracharya was the 26th, Simeshwara the 27th, Tapanacharya the 28th, and Raghunath Bhattacharya the 29th, and Nilambar the 30th. Singhabhata, Kamabhata, Dantur, Shivananda, Gaudepurva, Britya, Prabhur, Priya, Kamalananda. Among the devotees who live with Lord Chaitanya at Jagannath Puri, did I read this? Ramabhadracharya was the 26th, Simeshwara the 27th, Tapan Acharya the 28th, Raghunath Bhattacharya the 29th, and Nilambar the 30th. Singhabhata, Kamabhata, Dantura, Shivananda, Gaudapurva, Britya, Prabhur, Priya, Kamalananda. Singhabhata was the 31st, Kamabhata was the 32nd, Shivananda the 33rd, and Kamalananda the 34th. They all formerly served Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Bengal, but later these servants left Bengal to live with the Lord in Jagannath Puri. Achyutananda Dvaitacharya Tanoi Nilachale Rohe Prabhur Charana Ashroy. Achyutananda, the 35th devotee, was the son of Advaitacharya. He also lived with Lord Chaitanya, taking shelter of his lotus feet at Jagannath Puri. Nirloma Gangadas Ara Vishnudas Esavara Prabhu Sange Nilachalebas. Nirloma Gangadas and Vishnudas were the 36th and 37th among the devotees who lived at Jagannath Puri as servants of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Varanasi Madhye Prabhur Bhaktatinjan Chandrasekhar Vaidyara Mishra Tapan Raghunatha Bhattacharya Mishwaranandan Prabhu Jabe Kashi Aila Deki Brindavan Chandrasekhara Grihe Koila Dui Mashabas Tapan Mishra Gare Bika Dui Mas. The prominent devotees at Varanasi were the physician Chandrasekhar, Tapan Mishra, and Raghunath Bhattacharya. Tapan Mishra's son, the prominent devotees at Varanasi were the physician Chandrasekhar, Tapan Mishra, and Raghunath Bhattacharya, Tapan Mishra's son. When Lord Chaitanya came to Varanasi after seeing Vrindavan for 2 months, he lived at the residence of Chandrasekhar Vaidya and accepted prasadam at the house of Tapan Mishra. Raghunath Bhaye Koila Prabhura Sevan Uchishta Marjana Ara Para Samvahan. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed at the house of Tapan Mishra, Raghunath Bhatta, who was then a boy, washed his dishes and massaged his legs. Okay. That's who later became Raghunath Bhattacharya. Bora hoile nila chale gela prabhurstani ashtamash rohila bika dena kondine. When Raghunath grew to be a young man, he visited Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Jagannath Puri and stayed there for 8 months. Sometimes he offered prasadam to the Lord. Prabhuragyapaya Brindavanere Aila Asiya Shri Rupa Gosara Nikate Rohila. Later, by the order of Lord Chaitanya, Raghunath went to Vrindavan and remained there under the shelter of Srila Rupa Goswami. Tarastani Rupa Gosai Shunena Bhagavate Prabhura Kripai Teho Krishna Preme Mata. Tarastani Rupa Gosai Shunena Bhagavata Prabhura Kripaya Teho Krishna Preme Mata. While he stayed with Srila Rupa Goswami, his engagement was to recite Srimad Bhagavatam for him to hear. As a result of this Bhagavatam recitation, he attained perfectional love of Krishna, by which he remained always maddened. He used to sing the Bhagavatam to Mahaprabhu, and he'd sing with 3 different tunes. Emata Shangya Tita Chaitanya Bhaktagan Din Matra Liki Samyak Najai Katan. I list in this way only a portion of the innumerable devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Describe them all fully is not possible. Ekaika Shakate Lage Koti Koti Dao Tarasishya Upasishya Tare Upadal. From each branch of the tree have grown hundreds and thousands of sub-branches of disciples and grand disciples. Sakala Bariya Ache Prema Fula Fale Bashaila Tri Jagat Krishna Prema Jale. Every branch and sub-branch of the tree is full of innumerable fruits and flowers. They inundate the world with the waters of love of Krishna. Ek Shakara Shakti Ananda Mahima Sahasrabarane Jara Dite Nare Sima. Each and every branch of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees has unlimited spiritual power and glory. Even if one had thousands of mouths, it would be impossible to describe the limits of their activities. Sankepiko Hila Mahaprabhur Bhaktagan Samagra Bolile Munare Sahasrabadan. I have briefly described the devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in different places. Even Lord Sesha, who has thousands of mouths, could not list them all. Sri Rupa Raghunath Parijara As Chaitanya Charitamrita Kohe Krishnadas. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I Krishnadas narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita following in their footsteps. Thus, and the Bhaktivedanta purports to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi-lila, 10th chapter, in the matter of the main trunk of the Sri Chaitanya tree, its branches and its sub-branches. Thus, and the Bhaktivedanta purports of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi-lila, 10th chapter. In the matter of the main trunk of the Chaitanya tree, its branches and its sub-branches. So, that's the end of chapter 10. Hariharaya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama Hariharaya Krishna Jadavaya Nama Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Janardan Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Jai Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath. Jai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan. Jai Te Vignana Shabista Puran. Jai Gosai Jarmui Tarandas. Tasavar Pada Renu Mora Panchagrams. Kader Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas. Janame More Abhilash. Jai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Maja Iyaman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas. Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamudas. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmawacharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paramajaka Charyashta Tara Sadhu Sri Srimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paramajaka Charyashta Tara Sadhu Sri Srimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivedanta Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Bharga Ki Jai. Namachari Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath, Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai, Premsigo Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi, Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Vishvavaranya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupad Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Jai Shri Bhakti Kushamasha Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Shri Bhakti Tilak Neriya Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Shyam Kunda Radha Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Shri Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Shyam Kunda Radha Kunda Kalandi Yamuna Jo Ki Jai. Jai Shri Kartik Brata Ki Jai. Shri Damodar Brata Ki Jai. Shri Niyama Seva Ki Jai. Shri Urja Vrata Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Ki Jai.